It's the summer of 2021, 3:30 a.m. We're at a traffic stop outside of the Lincoln Tunnel.
And we're going to try to do the Cannonball Run. We're doing the Cannonball Run. What? We could probably go around 60. So we're going to stay on the back roads and such.
3 smart engineering students and friends from Michigan decided to take their home-built solar car from New York to Los Angeles.
Yep. We're the support car. Yeah.
How'd you guys get into the city?
Trailered it, and then we started at the Red Ball Garage. We're doing a cannonball run with it.
What's a cannonball run?
So there's a movie. It's a Red Ball Garage. It's the Red Ball Garage on 31st to the Portofino Hotel in LA.
The only concern is it's because it's so low and the trucks are so big in there that people drive like assholes in there. Like they look calm now, but when they get in there, we've hit them with the radar doing 110, 115 in there. So it's more like safety.
That stop on the side of the road, I was there, and that's where the Cannonball story started for me.
You guys have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Jesus.
Welcome to the Cannonball Podcast.
Yeah, my name's Kyle. Started the whole solar car adventure basically in high school because Will's kind of a lunatic and decided he wanted to build a solar car, and I was foolish enough to think that was okay. If that makes sense.
My name's Will, and I cause problems.
In high school, Will Jones pulled together a team of students, including Kyle Samluck, for the Solar Car Challenge, a race designed to teach kids how to build and drive road-ready solar cars.
Day one of the 2019 Solar Car Challenge at Texas Motor Speedway was really the beginning of the end for 33 high school teams from 13 different states.
We've been working on our car since the fall of 2017.
More than 200 schools are involved in the challenge, and these are the ones who made the first cut.
They placed second. Pretty impressive. But then, life moved on. They went to college, made new friends, studied for classes, but that itch for solar racing never really went away.
Kyle and I had sort of been talking for a little while, and we're like, well, it'd be cool to build another car. And, at that time, this was the fall of 2021, so this was still like peak COVID, class was still primarily online, and we weren't probably necessarily applying ourselves to our studies per se as much as we could have been. And we kind of got to talking. We're like, well, it'd be cool to build another car. Like, okay, well, what's the point? You don't really just build these cars for the hell of it. You kind of got to have something. And so, we kind of came up with the idea of let's do a cannonball run. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, during that time, the Cannonball record was broken a couple times because of COVID. There wasn't much traffic, so it was a little bit easier to go fast. And so I guess there was just kind of a little bit of media that kind of caught our attention.
I think it's sexier too. I think to build a car to drive across Michigan, it's just not particularly exciting. Like the engineering challenge of it. I don't know if there's a greater route in the United States than New York to LA.
And just like that, the work was underway.
Well, I guess we started designing a car.
We spent Thanksgiving in Will's basement on CAD, just plugging away. It wasn't a very good design at the end of the day. We spent 2 days on it or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
We chewed through all of Will's Wi-Fi
allocation.
allocation.
We used all the internet.
Apparently there's a limit.
So I guess that was good enough.
If you haven't seen a solar car before, well, they aren't the most traditional vehicles. With that in mind, Will and Kyle first nicknamed theirs the aluminum shoebox.
We got the aluminum shoebox in early January, and then we were both at school, and I also seem to remember have dislocated my shoulder at some point very soon prior to receiving the aluminum shoebox. So there I was in the shop trying to put this thing together with a dislocated shoulder. So that was smart. You know, I think we did a little work over spring break, but we hit it pretty hard over like first week of May. We took it to the track, and then we broke the steering, and then we almost rolled the car.
Yeah, well, we probably went maybe 2 laps around the track or something like that before the steering broke.
So that was not the most successful.
The car obviously needed some help. Luckily, Kyle knew who to call.
It's the first day that we went to the track, the one that was horrible. We ran maybe 5 miles or something like that. I think Will and I were loading the car in the trailer the night before, and you quickly realized, like, we can't do this with 2 people. Danny and I were on the same team at Michigan Tech for cross country and track, and I knew he was pretty into cars. He was pretty handy, and he lived in the area, so I gave him a phone call. Said, hey, you want to come work on a solar car? I'll give you lunch. Danny decided to come out. He agreed to lunch. That was his salary for the rest of the years, I suppose.
A sandwich might have gotten Danny Ezzo through the door, but the car didn't inspire much confidence. Luckily, he wasn't betting on the car.
Initially, I heard this dream, saw the car, and initially I was pretty worried about not making it. But then kind of as I got to know everybody's work ethics and kind of how they worked and like basically their inability to quit, I got more confident. I was optimistic in the team, not optimistic about the car. The car had quite a bit of issues. I was optimistic about us being able to fix whatever came to be. Not necessarily that the car was exactly what we wanted it to be to do the trip. I was picturing us like welding the frame back together on the car on the side of the road.
To really understand the solar cannonball, you've got to set aside what you know about the traditional cannonball run. The rules are different, the challenges are different. It's essentially a whole new game.
I mean, fundamentally, you're in like a gas-powered car and you're driving as fast as possible. In a solar car, you know, you're driving out in the sun and good vibes. I'd say it's more of an adventure and less of a race. It's sun power only, so you can start with a battery, but once you start, you can only charge from the sun. We said no law breaking, but yeah. And I guess you start from the Portofino, or no, you start from the Red Ball Garage and you got to finish at the Portofino Hotel. And obviously you got to drive all the miles. You can't trailer or anything like that.
As I mentioned before, their car is a bit different from the record-setting Ferraris.
Most people have no idea what they're looking at. I would say that's the...
Get a lot of double takes.
Yeah, a common trend is... doesn't really look like anything else. And I guess for those who haven't seen it, you know, it's 3 wheels. Some might say on the top it looks like a ping pong table. We prefer it being called like a spaceship or an airplane. That's, you know, a compliment. But each wheel, it's sort of like a trimaran where each wheel's in its own pod, and then there's in the center pod, it's a little bit bigger for the driver. But it certainly looks like nothing else. And then there's like a glass bubble over the driver's head, you know, sort of like a fighter jet canopy. Just, you know, total cost is probably like $200 as opposed to a fighter jet canopy might be $2 million.
So back to how I even know these guys. I grew up with Will and Kyle, so when I graduated college as an aspiring documentarian and heard they were about to drive a solar car across the country, I knew I had to be there. It was my own Corey Wells moment.
How do you guys feel after seeing the garage? Like, you feel good to get out of New York?
Yeah, I'll be happy to leave. No offense to New York, there's a lot of cars and traffic here.
I think we're excited for the true open road.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and hopefully the sun's shining and it's not too hilly. That's, I think, the ideal conditions for the car.
So on June 24th, 2021, Kyle, Will, and Danny left the Red Ball Garage in New York City in their car now called Pink Skies.
We're good, Kyle. You're protected. Just stay in your lane. You're good.
From the start, it was not what they planned for.
We weren't expecting the hills to be so crazy, so I think this will be the worst for the hills, and then we're gonna have bad weather for like the next 2 days, and after that it should be smooth sailing, hopefully.
Well, we made it to Logansport, Indiana. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I want to say it's a little less than 1,000 miles.
Sounds right. If I had to guess, I think it's more than 700, less than 800.
Well, one way or another, it was not LA. We had a lot of issues in the Appalachian Mountains. The car really wanted to overheat, and we sort of ended up troubleshooting and figuring out it was the motor controller. It wasn't something we really anticipated failing, and so we didn't have a spare battery management system or motor controller or fuses, or we were pretty much dead in the water. And I think the bummer is basically from Indiana to somewhere in Kansas or New Mexico, we probably could have kept cruising just fine because it's not particularly hilly.
It was the end of the road, at least for now.
I think we were all pretty exhausted. I remember we just went to Applebee's or something like that, got some steaks, Applebee's steaks or something like that, and then drove straight home from there. Everyone was pretty sad. I don't think many words were spoken, honestly.
I do remember asking in the car if we were going to do it again.
Yeah, I seem to remember that too. I don't think we were like, yeah, Daddy, we're all in. We were like, I don't know.
The first car, I mean, from conception to being in New York, it was under a year. Second car, we thought about things. First car is kind of, well, we'll just do this and see how it goes. And that bit us in the end.
After that first failed run, it was clear if they tried again, they would need a whole new approach. So enter attempt number 2.
Looking at the level of preparation and knowing that they had done it once before and kind of learned from mistakes, I was pretty confident that we were going to make it.
This is Brett Caesar.
Basically, they approached me and they were like, well, someone's got to drive the car, someone's driving the follow vehicle, and someone has the headset on, so we really need like a fourth set of hands to, give someone a break, and we can just rotate, go through all those things. So I was like, sure, let's check it out. I didn't have a ton of experience like coming into it, but I was up for the adventure.
The team officially had a new member, the first of many changes.
We had a trailer that was ours for the 2024 go-around, and so we got that pretty nice. We installed ramps that just like folded out. We had a winch. We really used the winch. We had like shelving, we had lights, we had all our tools and stuff organized. So that was a big difference maker, I think. Like every time we had to find something, instead of it taking 5 minutes, it took 30 seconds. I think we had a lot more spares, or I know we had a lot more spares the second time around. Mm-hmm. The first time around we had one motor controller, one motor, one battery management system. Second time around we had 2 batteries, multiple battery management systems. I don't even know how many motor controllers we had. We didn't fry a single one, so those were useless.
They upgraded, tweaked, and optimized for the next run. Sometimes improving, but sometimes creating new headaches.
The tires were extraordinarily unreliable, but the rolling resistance was certainly better than the thick motorcycle tires on the last one. And then on this one, we just put these super thin BMX tires, and they rolled really nice, but they were not particularly durable. I think we ended up averaging about 1 flat a day.
The second car, the biggest change was it was lighter. It was like about 30% lighter than the old car, and that was basically because we were just worried about hills. Was the main thought there.
All right, Danny, what are we up to?
It is 3:15 in the morning. We just loaded up the trailer and we're trailering the car to the Red Bull garage in Manhattan. Everybody's pretty stoked. We're excited and a little nervous to get on the road. But yeah, we're feeling good.
The Solar Car guys set off again in the summer of 2024 in Sunstrider, their new solar-powered car, in hopes of finally establishing a new Cannonball record.
Where are we?
We are Portland, Indiana.
Portland, Indiana. We are 170 miles ahead of 160-ish miles ahead of where Pink Skies was at this time. Make it another, I think, 35-ish miles. We tie Pink Skies' distance.
Fuck, I hope we can tie Pink Skies' distance.
We better.
I think in the car there was definitely a push or an expectation to get to Logansport again. Like, it was like, hey, we got
Well, the second
this
time around,
far.
I was, the second time around, I was probably less worried about making it, and I was like, you know what, as long as we just beat the last car, I'll be happy. We would have done an okay job. I don't think everyone else thought the same way, but
it was definitely a relief. Like, we knew
once we had a better car.
Past Logansport.
Luckily, they made it past their first checkpoint of Logansport, but they had the whole country ahead of them.
I think most of our days we would wake up sort of right as the sun was rising. You don't really collect any solar energy because there's no sun to be had. So we would drive a couple miles to kind of drain the batteries a little bit. And we would stop and then charge for, call it an hour. We would tilt the solar array. And then we would just kind of drive again for pretty much the rest of the day. We'd do driver swaps, lunches on the road. We had our snack bin. Had a lot of Uncrustables.
Mm-hmm.
We survived with
Clif
Uncrustables, and
we never stopped for lunch.
And then we would get to a town, and usually we would just say, all right, we're sitting down having dinner, let the car charge up a little bit, and then go to bed. Sounds pretty easy like that.
Although it wasn't a standard Cannonball, I think it had enough spirit and snacks to count.
Well, I think we're celebrating, an adventure on American highways. I don't think we protested the speed limit except for one time in Newark, Ohio. Who was driving? Whoever was driving should tell that story. Or maybe I think Danny tells that one the best.
So we were driving through traffic in Delaware, Ohio, middle of nowhere, but in this small town, there was, for some reason, a little bit of traffic. There was a Ford Explorer in the oncoming lane, came past us, and then we saw it turn around. Initially, we all kind of tell everybody, all right, don't panic. We kept driving. Then they came up, turned the lights on. We pulled over into I believe it was like a hospital parking lot. The police officer told us that we were holding up traffic, even though we were right on the car in front of us, and we were going the speed limit. Told her about the car. Obviously she was curious and stuff. And as we were leaving, she said basically that sometimes the speed limit isn't enough, and sometimes you need to go a little faster. It's a busy time in Delaware, Ohio, with everybody, trying to get to work and back in their lunch hour. And
I wonder if that's what fucked us. I don't know.
I think the only part where I got nervous that we might not make it was when we broke out the welder in New Mexico. There was an axle that was stuck. So basically the wheel was fine. It was the motor was still working. But if there was a flat, we were pretty much screwed. So we had to figure out a way to get that out. And Danny ended up welding this bolt wrench to try to drill it out, and it was 120 outside, and we were like, why are we welding things? But it ended up working out.
yeah, it was about as horrible as I'd imagined. It was amazing, though.
Being the first to attempt the record made the whole goal a bit different. It was a bit closer to that spirit of Cannonball Baker where the first question is this even possible?
Because I think our goal is we just wanted to make it, and, it's kind of, we could pick up a couple minutes here or the car could break down sort of situation. And we kind of erred on the side of caution the whole time. And I think that probably took a big stress off our shoulders. Stay in the right lane. Go straight. Sorry. Go straight, and it looks like we're pretty much at... Stay tight on him. There's a Cannonball. and it kind of says we're going to be here. I don't know where the fuck we're going, but...
There they are at the finish line.
There he is.
All right! Oh, yay! You made it! Yes, we are so excited. They're safe. They're smiling. Oh my gosh, we cannot, believe me, we cannot believe it.
On July 21st, 2024, the Solar Car guys, Will, Kyle, Danny, and Brett, set the record for a cannonball run in a solar car.
Congrats to the solar-powered guys from Michigan. They just finished their cross-country journey powered by the sun. They crossed the finish line in Los Angeles yesterday at 4:42 p.m. Pacific time, 7:42 our time last night. The adventure lasted 13 days, 15 hours, and 19 minutes.
All our parents came out there, and they met us at the finish line with some champagne, which is pretty
PBRs.
Cool. And PBRs, yeah.
Oh, and there was a car and driver writer there. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, and
The Verge.
The Verge, yeah. So a couple of reporters. It was the same day that Joe Biden dropped out of the election, so the news crews weren't actually there. But, you know, it was probably better that way because we were all pretty cranky.
The Solar Car crew let car and driver writer Emmy Hall take the solar car for a spin. And to quote her on her experience, it was some serious type 2 fun, as in not fun until later when you brag about having survived it. And she wasn't exaggerating. Driving a solar car across the country was more of an endurance test than a thrill ride. In their record, let's just say it didn't exactly threaten the Cannonball leaderboard.
I think Ernie and Doug averaged like 103 or something like that miles an hour. I don't know. I want to know what we averaged.
Yeah, if you actually thought about it, over 14 days.
Like 9.9 miles an hour?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
not very fast.
Looks like they needed the math.
It's now September 2024. We're at the Cars Are the Stars event in Minerva, Ohio, dubbed the most significant historical gathering of Cannonball record vehicles, Cannonball record holders, and Cannonball Run movie cars ever assembled.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think for the first time, sound of a siren is actually a good thing. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to guess it's solar-powered.
This is the Sunstrider. This is the solar-powered Cannonball car. This is the first 100% solar-powered vehicle to cross the country from New York to Los Angeles. It just did it recently this summer in 14 days, 13 days and change. Yep, so 100% solar. It was built by a team of 5 engineers, students, right? Yeah, built it themselves and crossed the country in this.
So we got invited to this car show where all the Cannonballers were going to be. And I, you know, we weren't worried when we were doing it what the Cannonball reception would be, really what anyone's reception would be. We just thought it was going to be a cool thing to do. So we show up to the car show, and I had met the guys. I didn't help load up the car. So I'm the first one to open the door, and of course it's got to be me. So I open the door, and the nose of the car is on, we had these shelves in the front, is on the front of the shelf, and it's all cracked to hell. I look at the guys. Didn't strap the car right. So I couldn't give it too hard of a time because I wasn't helping. But we're in the trailer, so we don't want to unload the car, taping our nose back together so it looks good for the car show. We're like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Meanwhile, the Lamborghini's pulling up behind us.
Yeah, there's a bright orange Lamborghini. The guy gets out. He's getting his like feather duster out, and we've got Windex and duct tape.
The Cars Are the Stars event brought the Cannonball community together like never before, connecting old legends with new enthusiasts.
I don't think we've met.
Yeah, well, I heard about you on the podcast.
Okay.
Nice work.
Thank you
Very
so
good.
much.
I respect. What's the name of the guy who did the Cannonball record in the Prius? Oh my God, I'm spacing. Jay Roberts and Cannonball Sun, the only literate people who've ever done it. No, we say it with love.
We do say it with love. I don't know.
And Alex Roy wrote a very special message for the Solar Car team.
All right, we got, you have more brains and balls than all the MFers
Alex Roy.
We'll dive into more of the fun and excitement of the Cars Are the Stars next time. But as for the solar car,
I think I would be thrilled if someone else broke it, because then it would mean that
it's catching on.
Yeah, it's catching on, and it'd be like, all right, well, now we gotta beat it. But I mean, until someone beats it again, there's, I don't really see us doing it again. I guess to anyone listening, you try and beat it. We'll help.
this series was created and produced by Mallory Keenoy, executive producer Tom Keenoy. To the Cannonball community, past and present, thank you for keeping the legend alive and proving that tradition and responsibility can share the same road. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters for helping make this project possible. An extra shout out to the Cannonball Sun Solar Car team, the ones who first sparked this journey. Select archival audio and materials were used under fair use for commentary and historical context. This series was inspired by many stories, films, and records that have kept the legend of the Cannonball Run alive for generations. Music licensed through Foxy Music. Additional production support from Walter Garrity and Jay Roberts. Thanks for listening. You can find us at the Cannonball Pod on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow, like, and subscribe for more.